So here we have the inspiration for our wild cucumber gin, the wild cucumber itself. Now this absolutely striking and delicious fruit gives us an equally delicious gin. And it is unbelievably beautiful as well. So let us have a taste of the gin. So the first thing is always the nose. And on the wild cucumber gin you get a strong, clear juniper base that isn't overpowering and not too perfumey, but has this wonderful layered complexity. We're also getting this absolutely wonderful cucumber note from the wild cucumber itself. So the green fruit gives us this delightful cucumber finish that's actually quite a lot stronger than traditional English cucumber. But as the fruit ripens, it goes that beautiful orange color. We actually start getting notes of kiwi and almost just a hint of orange. That gives the gin a beautiful, layered, very complex flavor. Okay, let's have a taste. The first thing that comes through is those wonderful, clean juniper notes. Balances beautifully with the gin as a whole, and then the follow-up of the greener notes immediately starts coming through. You get the wonderful green herbaceous, almost verdant flavors that start mellowing into a slightly green woody flavor. Right, let's have another taste. You're starting to get these very complex spicy notes that layer the whole of your palate, and it actually works wonderfully with the green of the cucumber. And for the finish, the layered and complex notes linger wonderfully, making for a deliciously smooth, refreshing sipping gin. Absolutely delightful. Our wild cucumber gin is so wonderfully fresh and green that it goes beautifully with a ribbon of cucumber, some fresh strawberries, and a bruised basil sprig. This is the pod of the bush willow tree, and we actually open this up and use the seeds inside. It gives us an amazing flavor that makes this one of the most striking gins in our range. Let's have a taste and enjoy. On the nose, your first impression is a clear and crisp lemon, and that comes from the heritage lemons that we use in our gins. You then also get a warm, earthy woodiness and an almost nutty finish. The next note is a complex, almost like a dry forest floor, and then there are notes of an earthy florality that come through and marry beautifully with the juniper. We get that beautiful woody flavor that envelops the whole of the palate again. Why don't you join me and have a taste? It is immediately very true to the nose. We're getting those beautifully complex, woody, nutty, earthy flavors. There's a lot going on in this gin. The juniper balances beautifully with these drier flavors. And on the second taste, you start getting these lovely but subtle notes of aniseed, and it all just comes together to make this incredibly rich and spicy, complex gin. It is absolutely beautiful. A real gin lover's gin. The unusual and lovely warm and woody nuttiness of this gin interplays so well with all of its other elements, giving you this absolutely palate-enveloping flavor. It makes for a distinctive gin like absolutely no other. We find the acidity of pineapple plays beautifully against the woody, earthy and nutty tones. A sprig of fresh thyme and a few juniper berries to finish. This is our marula gin, which is made with the fruit of the marula tree, which, as with all of our botanicals, grows in the area around the distillery. So it is a distant relative of the mango family and has this absolutely amazing and so difficult to define taste. So let's have a taste of this together and start with our marula. First thing on the nose is again that lovely juniper base. It's there but not overwhelming, and it meshes really well with that complex marula flavor. There's that tangy, almost tart citrus note, but the fruity finishes as well. And then we're also getting just the first hints of the bushveld florals that we use. So as always, the taste is a vital part of any gin. So let's find out what we have there. So the first thing, as it should be with any gin, is that lovely juniper kick. That is, again, not too strong, meshes very well with the marula. But now suddenly the florals are really coming to the fore. We're getting some of that almost orange blossom flavor. We're getting the sweet thorn acacia, the African wild pear. Have another sip with me. So the florals are complex without being overwhelming and lend a lovely sort of backbone and complexity to the gin. And I'm sure you're also getting that hint of woodiness that is quite subtle but still present. And we get just together this lovely, complex and very intriguing mixture that plays so well with the marula fruit. This really is an intriguing gin, and we've had friends justly describe it as a tiny taste of an African sunset. To really make your African sunset sing, some citrus to really pull out that marula tartness, some star anise and cinnamon for the spice back, and just a touch of rosemary for that green freshness. This unusual thing over here is the fruit of the snuffbox tree. It gets its name because for centuries locals used to hollow it out to store precious snuff in. It actually is so hard that you need a hammer to get inside, but once you do, you find the dark fruit within. Now this has got the most amazing flavors, malty, burnt caramel, almost a vanilla flavor. And when we found this growing just 5 meters from the distillery door, we knew we had to make a gin out of it. And that is the story of how we created our Snuffbox Collector's Edition gin. Let's have a taste together. So, on the nose, your first and immediate impression is very exotic, big flavors, and that's followed up by a lovely warm citrus, almost of a burnt orange, with a complex spice intermingling with it. There's a lot of very big flavors in here, and let's see what else we can find. And then you get some of those absolutely amazing burnt caramel, cacao, sort of malty flavors. It really is unlike anything else. There's a deep richness to it that almost has a hint of coffee as well. Absolutely amazing. Let's have a taste. Immediately, all of the complexity of those big aromas really pulls through to the palate as well. There's just such a delicate and perfect intermingling between them. We start to get really strong notes of vanilla and gentle, warm citrus as well as very prominent. As you let it linger, you start getting a gentle earthiness, a warm spiciness, almost of nutmeg. Again, everything works so well together, and it just is a beautiful balance between those burnt caramel, slightly desserty flavors and the juniper and spice of the rest of the gin. A lovely, warm, smooth and harmonious finish. As one of the judges said when awarding Snuffbox a double gold medal, this is a real smooth talker. So for the garnish on the Snuffbox, it is such a unique gin that we actually try and keep it very simple, clean and delicious. We really want the gin to shine here. After all the lovely tastes we've had, what better way to end the day than sundowners with friends? Cheers from me and the Flowstone team.